Hi you guys, welcome back to Gun Shorts. This week I have a gun that I've been asked to test a number of times. It's taken me a while to get hold of one, but here it is. The Fabarm Axis RS12. It's a gun that I think if you look at it, it very much is it appears to be a poor man's Blaser F3 Super Sport. It's got this really sort of notable styling ethos around it, that with what appears to be a high rib, Monty stock, all black. The floating barrels with a hanger. It sort of appears to be an expensive dedicated sporter for £2,000 these things retail at. And I am genuinely disappointed in it. I'm really sorry to say this. I've gotten on really well with a lot of Caesar products, but this gun is a misstep. All right, I'm going to tell you why. We'll go through the technical bits first. 30-inch tubes on this gun, 18.4 bore. As I said, they're floating with a barrel hanger. You get a set of extended chokes. The barrels are overpressure tested up to I think 1650 bar, which they're very proud of. The rib is a sort of apparently high step rib with a mid bead and a white front bead. Looks about 12 to 8 mil. Well checkered. It's a sort of a slab-sided beaver tail forend, with quite nicely checkered, although very plain wood on this gun. The trigger isn't bad at all. The pulls aren't bad. The length of pull on this gun is 15 inches dead. It's an adjustable trigger blade, although I find the blade a little bit on the narrow side. It could definitely be a little bit wider for comfort's sake, but it is adjustable. It has a adjustable Monte Carlo stock, although I have to say the adjustment mechanism on this is pretty complicated. I took it to bits to try and sort of have a muck about with a comb, and it is just a horrendous mess of spanners and Allen keys and that to get it to shift, so I've just plopped it back on again. Aesthetics on this gun, the action is actually quite nicely engraved. It's obviously been machine done, it's laser engraved, but it's very pretty black on black. It looks well if you look at it in detail, and generally speaking, fit and finish isn't too bad with the metalwork. The problem, I think, is somewhat to do with the woodwork on this gun. That maybe is some of the reason why I don't like it. The problems start with this checkering, which is really sharp, but on this pistol grip, which is such an unusual sort of rather lump and angular shape, it's actually really uncomfortable. When you're shooting the gun, for all it mounts well enough, it moves well enough, and it looks fine, but this pistol grip is just, I don't know, it's like somebody described the shape to them over the phone and then they cut it based on some dimensions that they were given. It's just wrong. Your hand doesn't really feel well on it, and this really sharp checkering, actually, unless you're wearing gloves, it was actually hurting my thumb just on the knuckle there. The drop at comb, which I've actually measured on this gun, is 40 mil with this all the way down, and this high rib at the highest point is 5 mil above the bore. I'm absolutely as flat as possible behind it. I can only see the mid bead. I can't see the front bead at all because it's hidden by the mid bead when I'm mounted, and yet I'm still shooting over the top. I tried a bit of trap with this gun, and I blanked at the first peg, and I was just gazing at this thing in disbelief, and I turned around and there was a guy behind me who was doing this, saying that I was like 1.5 foot, 18 inches above everything I was shooting at. And even though this gun is so flat, I'm still over the top, and I just can't figure out why, which is why I've ended up measuring it. If you look at the rib, it looks high, but it isn't. It's only 5 mil above the bore. I've checked my gun, the Krieghoff, and even though that looks flatter than this, it's actually 7 mil above the bore. The drop at comb on my gun is 33 mil, the drop at comb on this is 40, and I'm still shooting high. Don't know. Genuinely, there is a problem somewhere that I don't know how to fix with this gun, and I haven't gotten on well with it at all. I've really had to force myself to shoot it. It's the first time that's happened to me in a while. I've basically shot as much as I had to get a feel for it, and then put it back in the car and got mine out again, unfortunately. As I said, it's £2,000. Looking at it holistically as a whole piece, if you stand far enough away, it looks grand, but then when you get into the detail, this bit of woodwork here where the pistol grip meets the action, and this hemisphere motif as it's cut, is really clumsily done. It doesn't fit. It's really sharp. It just feels awkward. This pistol grip is awkward. It's just not everything it ought to be, and I think for the money if you're looking at this sort of level and you fancied a Caesar, get yourself a second-hand Summit, or splash a bit extra money and get yourself a new one. It looks very similar, and you can get the high rib version, but altogether a much better package, much better feel, much better wood, just a significantly better gun. I wouldn't, I'm sorry to say, recommend a Fabarm Axis RS12. So I'll just say thank you very much for tuning in, guys. By the way, please, if you are enjoying the channel, support me on Patreon. Take a look at the rest of my videos, and please subscribe if you enjoy. See you next time.